Should you be putting medical treatments through your limited company? Let's find out today. Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcotts, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Let's sit down and have a chat. Putting medical treatments through your limited company is one of those questions that can you or can you not? Now, there are some yeses and there are some definite no's, and there are potentially some maybes. So today we're going to explore exactly what treatments and what medical conditions and things you can be putting through your company, and what I'd definitely be suggesting that you don't. So let's dive in. The first one is that you can do a health check once a year, and there's no tax, there's no national insurance, and it is an allowable business expense. So you'll get tax relief on it and reduce your overall corporation tax bill. So this is one of the great things about having your company. And if you are thinking, I want to just do some sort of health check, a well man, a well woman, whatever it may be, then you are able to take this sort of day to go and get your health checked out. Now, this doesn't have to be for every employee, and you can choose who you want to be going on this sort of event. So it might just be for yourself, it may be for you and your partner who are running the business. So just a little great one to help, especially if you're wanting to keep track of how your health is and put it as an allowable expense in your business. Now, the next one is probably a relatively well-known one, but it's always worth mentioning these just in case you keep forgetting about it. So glasses and eye tests. Now, eye tests are allowable if you are needing to use some sort of screen. So for most of us, whether we be property investor, whether we be sourcer, whatever it may be, we're probably using an iPad or a tablet or a phone or a laptop or computer type device, which therefore means we're definitely using a screen. So on the basis we're using a screen, make sure you're putting your eye tests however frequently, 12 monthly, 6 monthly, 18 months, 2 years, it depends what you are doing. But whenever you are having an eye test, make sure you put your expense through the business, however much it is, whether it be £10, £40, £50. I know things are getting a little more expensive as time goes on. And then the question is, are the glasses or contact lenses allowable expenses? Now, if they're required for health and safety reasons, so you need them for doing the screen work and they're a requirement, then yes, you can be claiming them. If they're just for your general eyesight, then arguably no, you cannot be claiming it. So at this point, you may just have to have a look at, you may wish to have a chat with your accountant about it, just to check whether this part of the expense is allowable or not. The eye test, 100% allowable within your business if you're using devices and screens. So there's a little bit of a grey area there where we just need to make sure we're checking where you sit in that aspect of, are you needing it or is it just that you have glasses anyway? So that's one to definitely have a look at to see whether it can help put those costs as a business expense. The only other medical treatments that are potentially allowable for business purposes are those where you've had an injury at work. So if you have been on a building site and you've fallen over, had an accident, and you need some treatment to get you back up and working in the company, then this may be an allowable expense. However, if it's just well-being maintenance of your own body, then that is less likely to be allowable for tax purposes. If you think it may be, I would probably suggest you speak to a professional, an accountant, a tax advisor, to assess whether something is allowable or not. A final point to note is that if you do have employees and you need to get them back to work, you can pay up to £500 to help them get back to work. Now, if it's yourself who is the director and employee, then the chances are that you're not going to be able to make use of this. However, if you've got building contractors who are employed by you and they need some support getting back to work because of an injury or something, then this may be a useful allowance to just help get some tax allowable expenses through the business and get those all important employees back to work. The key reason for knowing whether or not you need to report something as an allowable expense is because if you are paying for something on behalf of an employee and it's not an allowable expense, then the employee themselves will have a benefit in kind. And if they have a benefit in kind, that means that they're going to have to do a P11D, which is a specific tax form that needs to be submitted to HMRC, and there are additional taxes on the employee and on the company, which is obviously an extra tax cost to you, your business, and everything that you're planning for, which may have not been the original intention. Therefore, just be aware of these ones that are allowable and try to make use of them where you can. For anything else, you'll need to be doing that in your own name, and you're less likely to be able to use the company to enable you to get these medical treatments. If there are any medical treatments that you want to check, then please do leave a comment and we can have a look at any specific medical treatments that you may be able to claim for. Obviously, each is very specific to each circumstance, but we're happy to try and guide anyone in the right direction of whether something is allowable for tax or isn't allowable for tax. To summarise, the key areas that we need to be aware of are our annual medical check that we can definitely be claiming through the business. Ensure you're doing your eye tests and putting those through one of your companies, and obviously if you are needing glasses, contact lenses, then see whether they may be available to put through as a business expense. And finally, most other medical treatments are probably unlikely to be available to put through as a company expense, but do ask the question in case the answer is yes. But do get advice to make sure that you are claiming everything you can. As we all know, with many of these videos, we're trying to find expenses where we can to help minimise that all-important tax liability. Hopefully today you've discovered what you can and what you cannot claim as medical treatments through your company. If you've got any questions, then do please leave a comment. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel, and let's make tax less taxing.